As entrepreneurs, most of us reach a turning point. Should you keep going or give up? That's the question entrepreneur partner and the creator and host of Behind the Brand, Brian Elliott, asked fitness guru Jilian Michaels.
So a lot of people who watch this show, they're trying to get their own thing off the ground. They've got this great idea. But sometimes we struggle with when to give up, when to cut bait. So how long do you give this brilliant idea that you've got until you know it's not working?
I don't call it giving up. I call it pivoting. Okay. So, for example, we had spent quite some time, man hours, dollars, developing an app, and it was called Active Connection. God, I almost blocked out the name. And we were going into beta, and all of a sudden, meetup.com exploded. And we were like, okay, well, they've done the exact same thing, better than where we are right now, and they're leaps and bounds ahead of us. So to put more man hours and dollars into this would be stupid, suicidal. It's like, it's like good money after bad. So, all right, that's not an option. What did we learn? What assets do we have? What can we do with this technology? How can we utilize it in a different way? How can we reapply it to a different asset? How can we pick up the pieces and redefine them? And I think that's the key. There was a guy that I had met on a show for Spike, this fitness entrepreneur, and he had developed this apparatus, and I was like, I'm sorry to tell you, someone has done this. He has a better pedigree than you. He's an Olympic speed skater. He's already in gyms across the country, and the device is superior. You're dead in the water here, and he would not have it. And I was like, okay, and it's like at that moment you go, okay, I'm beat. How do I pivot and reapproach with a different angle? And that's what I call it pivoting. Shift and reframe.
Super smart. So what'd you do?
Well, so we took all of that tech and all of the names from the list that we had garnered, and quite honestly, we poured a lot of that into FitFusion, which ironically, we're talking about a little bit today, and into the new JilianMichaels.com app, which is a dynamic trainer app. And so we're looking at, okay, we were talking about profile creation and how can we do that with FitFusion, and how do we tailor all of this with regard to nutrition and make it dynamic and not one size fits all. And so we just pivoted and poured it into different assets. Nobody can be Jilian Michaels, so my app is my app. I'm your trainer. Can't replace that. And with FitFusion, while there are other streaming platforms, most of them don't work because they don't have the bigger names in the space. And fortunately, we do. We have the majority of them. So we're winning on that front as well. So it's like, what do you have that's unique where you can win? What's your angle and how do you magnify that angle? So when it comes to follow along workouts, I am the 800-pound gorilla in the room. I've sold more DVDs. My workouts have been downloaded more than any workout on YouTube, unfortunately, which is a nightmare that we're in with Lionsgate right now. But with that said, you use the asset that you have and you play it to your advantage.
Yeah, I like what you said. I want to underscore it a little bit. It's subtle, but it's really important. So it's like all these little mistakes or even experimentation along the way has kind of been tuition to, the things that you've learned. You've paid the price, and now you are where you are because of all that stuff.
Oh, without a doubt. An even greater example would be when I was 24. I was training people during the day, I was bartending at night, I was making great money, and I was truly happy and carefree. And I started dating somebody who was a little older, Ivy League graduate, and was like, you need a real job, how are you gonna do this for the rest of your life? So I got into the entertainment industry. I David Geffened it, fake diploma, all this stuff. And that's why I appreciate the entrepreneurial spirit. I'm like, healthy amount of sociopathy, as long as you're not hurting anyone. Make a long story short, I was miserable, and I became a talent agent, or a motion picture packaging agent, at one of the biggest talent agencies in the world. Hated it. And at 27, I was out of the business. Like, you'll never eat lunch in this town again, kind of cliche. And I was like, oh my God, how did I get so far afield? Like now I'm 27, unhappy, making no money. I used to love what I did. And I got back into fitness to make money to try to figure out what I wanted to do. And that's when I was like, wait a second, I've always loved this. How do I turn this into a business? With that said, all of that time that I thought I had wasted at ICM, this talent agency, is what eventually, those contacts would eventually fuel the clientele at my sports medicine facility. And subsequently, one of those agents knew me obviously and put me up for The Biggest Loser.
Yeah, so you have to play the